Welcome to Law Library. We're your hosts, Lauren and
Dominic.
Yas.
Oh, I gotta say the rest. Hang on. In this series, we'll be taking a look at the Call of Duty zombie storyline. And, well, just really the whole lore centered around the alternate timeline where the world is taken over by zombies. The story is well, it's rather long. All other videos I've seen on it I'll take like 4 to 6 hours. So,
Wait, really?
yeah, like there's a lot to unpack. So we're gonna divide this into probably multiple episodes.
Yep.
So you might you see that red button down there? It says subscribe. You should press it. You should press it.
Yeah, please do.
Please, I need to feed my wife and family.
Okay, so the zombie storyline pretty much is a separate storyline from the actual main gameplay of.
Well, there's a lot of things with it. Like, when zombies first started World at War, all the character models were actually reused assets from the campaign, and in certain places you actually see like recurring characters, like when you get into the Cold War side of things, the playable characters can actually be people from the campaign, and you can have people like Captain Price, who's from Modern Warfare. So it's a bit of a touchy, but presumably it is separated from our universe, from the main Call of Duty universe,
I've never really been a zombies girl till we actually started playing together. I say, like, the first one I actually played was maybe Black Ops 2 Zombies, but then again, I can't actually remember which one I actually played first, because my memory is pretty bad. And my dad did introduce me to the PlayStation 3 after the PlayStation 2, but I can't remember what
Jealous.
Black Ops. Why are you jealous?
Because you got to play with all the PlayStations.
Yeah, I played PS1, PS2.
Did you play GameCube
PS3.
though? Did you play GameCube? Did you play Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast on the GameCube?
That's
what I thought.
No. But I had a Wii.
Well, we all have a Wii, Lauren. I have one every morning.
Ha. Very, very funny.
If we talk about like first Call of Duties, my first Call of Duty was Black Ops 2 as well. But it was also my first zombies experience, and I remember like those were really finicky times. Most of the servers, because they were European servers, most of the servers would be Russian, or like they'd be like primarily like Russian, German. There wasn't too many UK servers, and every now and again you would get an American, but it was very like it wasn't common. It wasn't a commonplace thing to have, and I would find that all the friends that I have now from those days, were just people that I met that spoke English, and just blood bond instantly, just instant blood bond.
Yeah.
Case of that is because I'm uploading this on my main channel as well, so it's like Dylan and Riso, I met them playing Call of Duty. Dylan Smythe I met playing Call of Duty, and then through him I met Dylan.
Yeah. But like, you met like all your friends from doing that. Pretty much, like, we were probably the same time we actually got introduced to PS3 and that. But I was more of the shy, young girl who just.
Oh, that hadn't changed much.
Yeah, but I was just too shy to actually talk to anyone because.
Believe me, it wasn't for lack of trying. I was always shy talking to people, because even some of those Russian people, they spoke English, but it was like so intimidating at the time. Now I don't give a care in the world.
The only games I actually played was Little Big Planet, and I think Ratchet and Clank, Last of Us.
I feel like I'm getting ever so slightly off track.
No, it's fine. And then I played this cool car game called Blur. That was pretty sick. That was
Blur
really
is
cool.
also the name of one of the G1 Transformers, named Blur because he was so fast and it made him a blur. But also he always spoke in like video fast forward. I'm gonna have to bleep out my own swear words.
Yeah, yeah. But but yeah, like I was just way too shy to actually talk to people, so I was just sit on the little couch, just playing my little games. But
Hmm.
I mean, I did go online for Little Big Planet 3, but that was only to play people's um like maps that they've
How
made.
many horror maps did you play where it was just run away
Oh,
from Jeff the Killer?
no, the one I played was Friday the 13th, which was really, really cool. Like, that was probably the funnest horror game experience I've ever had. Then again, there was Last of Us, which was really cool.
Oh, I played so much
Right, so,
on PS3. Right, you should probably get back to it.
on topic. So the
This is
whole start
exactly
of...
why Alt F4 should be a thing. This is exactly
Yeah,
why.
exactly why. So, for the whole of the lore,
Well, the
start
whole of
off...
it. So it depends. Do you want? Because obviously, if we're making this a whole thing, it's gonna it's gonna take a lot, like, to explain all of it from the beginning. Because it literally, when I say it's where it starts, it genuinely starts at the beginning of the universe.
I guess let's start from there then.
Start from the beginning. So essentially, there's these duders, right? They're called keepers, and the keepers, they're big dick ballers.
Yeah.
And they first, and one of them, he's a big smart boy. He made this rock, and this rock is called the summoning key. It has like, it's the most powerful artifact known to man. Uh,
Yeah.
and with the summoning key, he created the Aether, which is pretty much what you would call heaven. It is heaven, but as you know, every action has equal opposite reaction. They also made the Dark Aether, which it wasn't so nice in the Dark Aether, as you could probably imagine. It doesn't sound like the nicest thing in the world. Um, any questions so far about just the? I'm pretty much reading out the Bible at this point. Um, so then we had two. So millennia passed, and you didn't really have a problem. But then two creatures, well, two keepers, sorry, take namesake. We got their best friends, their best buddies. So you know, like Doctor and Master used to be best friends, like bestest of
Yeah,
buddies.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Think of it like that. They're best of friends, couldn't be separated, except one of them took a dark path. The Shadow Man being one of them, and Doctor Monty. Can you guess which one's the evil one?
Right. Yeah.
No guess.
Um. Uh. My brain is dead.
Shadow Man and Doctor Monty, they're both evil, but we'll get to that later.
Is there gonna be like a plot twist where one of them
Plot twist, like,
turns up?
right towards the end, yeah. Essentially, Dr.
So,
Monty spends so long trying to make sure that his best friend, the Shadow Man, doesn't become evil, that he himself becomes evil. So what ends up happening is Dr. Monty, using the summoning key, banishes the Shadow Man and all of his followers into the Dark Aether, and the keepers all get, like, just while being there, they get corrupted over years and years and years of being in the Dark Aether, and they turn pretty much into Cthulhu. They're all tentacle monsters now, called Apothicons.
but wait, didn't you say Ever was supposed to be like paradise or something? Or
Yeah,
was it?
Heaven's Paradise, but the Dark Aether's like the opposite of Paradise.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So you got the Ava, and then the Dark Ava.
Yeah, yeah. They're trapped in the Dark Aether, but what they can do is they can shoot little rocks out of their tentacle mouths and send them to other realities to cause chaos. Puffkins can only shoot stuff out because they're a little bit stuck. But the keepers, they've also, like, made a little rule for themselves. We can't interact with people. What do they
Yeah.
think we are, gods? Which they are, but that's besides the point. So years and years and years go by, and one day, in our universe, which we're going to call it our universe. It's not our universe, but you know what I mean. Rocks just hit everywhere. These rocks is actually what wiped out the dinosaurs.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so, rest in peace dinosaurs, hardly knew ya.
Did they not become zombie dinosaurs then?
No, there was no zombie... Do you know what? I wish there was. How cool would that be, just zombie T-Rex? They do have zombie dragons, though.
Wait, that's cool, though. So they have zombie dragons, but not zombie
We'll get back to that later, though. So... in a little mining town in I can't remember what it was called, but this man called Jebediah, essentially he discovers the rock. Well, a miner discovers the rock, turns into a zombie, kills Jebediah's mother, and then Jebediah's a little bit depresso espresso because his mum's dead. The keepers start. He goes down to look at this rock. He gets a little bit loopy from being near the element 115. And then the keepers can start talking to him in his dreams. He, obviously not understanding what these things are, thinks they're angels. And the angels, as he calls them, they say, "Hey, yo, make me a little bit of a machine." And to quote Jebediah, it packs one hell of a punch, which that's the Pack-a-Punch machine.
Pack-a-Punch, yeah.
They then asked him to make a Garthan device, which requires like 5 things: a rock that's bonded to 4 souls. An actual vessel, and the blood of an elder god. The blood of an elder god does not come into play until millennia later, but, you know, who cares about that? Jebediah makes the little vessel, and then, like, goes instantly insane and decides to put his mum in the Pack-a-Punch machine. His dead mum. His dead mum just poofs out of existence, becomes a ghost, and haunts the house for the rest of her days. Then he puts the device inside the Pack-a-Punch machine, the little casing, and it teleports the entire western village, the entire western mining town, into fucking Angola in Africa.
Whoa.
Jebediah then dies by zombies.
Damn.
Also, later on, a guy called Leroy gets fucking Goku teleported into there. Well, we call him Leroy. His name's Arthur, but everyone called him Leroy because at the time, when Buried was released, there's a very popular meme of Leroy Jenkins.
It's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Leroy Jenkins. Wait, is he one of the main characters?
He technically, but like not main. We actually get into one of the main characters now. So, Germany, 1945. What's significant about that, Lauren?
Well, I don't know my history, so I'm a bit of an idiot, but wasn't that World War II?
World War II, you're right. And we had Group 935, which was run by Dr. Maxis and Dr. Edward Richtofen. Then they lost all their funding. And Maxis was like, "Hey, yo, you know those Nazis?" Maxis was like, "Hey, yo, those Nazis, they do have dough, though." And Ed was like, don't be a bitch. We're scientists, not Nazis. And Max has pretty much told him, shut up, do as I say. They then created some weapons. They got like the ray gun, which you can actually see in the gameplay. I actually managed to get. There's things, they're called wonder weapons. There's the bunch of them. We're not going to get into all of them. Some of them are important, which I'll get into, but we're not going to get into all of them. So Richtofen actually manages to teleport a walnut, which is like, he's really happy about it because he actually managed to teleport a walnut. Maxis finds out that he's not working on weapons for the Nazis, and, you know, calls him a bitch. Richtofen gets very, very, very upset. And just says, you know what, I'm going to continue research teleportation anyway, because I'm amazing.
But would it go wrong, just like...
Well, he got teleported to the... Well, Lauren, he made a teleport that could teleport humans, and I'm going to give you 3 guesses of where it went. A, Area 51, B, the goddamn moon, or C, all of the above.
All of the above.
No, it just went to the moon. Later on, there is one that does all the above, but it goes to the goddamn moon, and in that goddamn moon was a pyramid. I did forget to mention a bunch of other stuff because I'm often gave that, it was like, hey, look, there's a pyramid. I'm going to give it a little pokey.
Yeah.
And instantly he was corrupted by the Dark Ether and went batshit insane.
So the pyramid had a dark ether.
It was just evil. The pyramid was just evil.
If anyone touches it, will become.
It's just evil.
Corrupted. Okay.
Group of 9 through 5 actually end up building a station on that moon called Griffin Station. That's a whole other thing, which we will get to eventually. We're gonna go now to another abandoned German Nazi facility called Nackter und Toten, which was just an airfield. Some Marines crashed there. They had to fight off the zombies, and then they died. Then you go to Verut, another Group 9 through 5 center. You had 4 Marines, which was Smokey, John Banana, I can't remember the 4th one, and Tank Dempsey. They all died except for Tank Dempsey. Peter McLean was also there, but he hangs himself in Shino Numa by accident. His parachute gets caught around his neck.
Oh, that's peak. That's correct.
Tank Dempsey. Also, meanwhile, in Japan, Takio's very, very loyal to the Emperor. He loves the Emperor. Emperor good. The Emperor, on the other hand, doesn't like Takio very much. Goes behind Takio's back and tricks him.
Betrayal at its finest. Top 10.
He gets sold to Richthofen. Also, there's a Mexican.
Okay. So, any of this that you've just spoke about, does it happen like in the games?
This is all like you find all this out, but a lot of this can be determined in game. Like the areas I mentioned, like for Verut and Nackter and Toten, those are all maps. But the teleportation happened in the De Reese facility, which is another map.
Yeah.
So next you have Nikolai. He is Russian. That is all.
Yes.
Richthofen experiments on all 4 of these people. He experiments on Dempsey, Takio, and the Mexican, and Nikolai. He first thinks, hey, I think the soul I think the soul might be in the spleen. So he goes up to the Mexican, shanks the shit out of him, and takes his spleen. The Mexican dies.
And yeah.
But does he? No, he doesn't. He comes back later on to be very important.
How does he come back later on? Or is that a spoiler we won't reveal?
Nobody knows. He just turns out to be alive and he's stuck in like Siberia.
So that's like a gaming plot twist, gaming loophole.
Probably.
Yeah.
So they experimented on all of them. Dempsey, a Marine, American. His mind was broken and he became a stereotypical American, which is every sound out of his mouth was either swearing, shouting, or saying the words "oorah." Takio's mind got broken to the point where he could only say Japanese proverbs, becoming a stereotypical Japanese man. And Nikolai, being Russian, was injected in a serum made of pure vodka. And it made it so if he was not constantly drunk 24/7, he would die.
Wait, he was actually injected with vodka.
A vodka-based serum. Richthofen then took a fancy little bit of element 115, gave it a little bit of a sniff, and tied his soul, plus the souls of Takio, Dempsey, and Nikolai, to his own. Around this time, Maxis is getting sick and tired of Richthofen. And Richthofen's not too big of a fan of Maxis either. So
then did
he devised a plan to murder him.
Thought so.
The first thing that happened is Maxis killed his daughter's dog.
What the? That's so messed up. Why would you do that?
He put his daughter's dog in the teleporter. The dog got teleported, came back as a hellhound. Also, by the way, the dog was pregnant, so all the hellhounds you see in the game are the children of Samantha's dog.
But wait, but there's infinite hellhounds.
Yeah, because they're all her children.
How is that possible?
Lauren,
That's
video
so
game logic.
That's so sad.
Yes, it is, but not
That's
as sad
so
as the
sad.
following. What happens next is that Richtofen shoves both Maxis and teleporter. They get all of them get teleported to the moon.
And then that's
Well,
where the pyramid is.
Samantha gets teleported to the moon, but Maxis gets turned into pure energy and fucking dies.
Sam!
But does he? No, he can live in electronics.
So technically he's alive, but he's just...
Inside all electronics, yeah. So, that pyramid, remember that magical pyramid I was talking about? They built a space station around it, and they discovered a magical thing.
The Dark Ever.
No, that if you kill people around it, it sucks up their souls. So, what does any sane scientist do? Ritual sacrifice! It charges up the pyramid, and just as it's charged, and Richtofen tries to go inside to reach the Aether, the exact moment that Samantha pops out of time and space and runs directly into the teleporter.
Wait, so when she was teleported to the moon...
She was teleported through time.
Right. And then she just all of a sudden pops back out.
Yes. It's, as I said, very complex. Samantha runs straight into the teleporter and starts controlling the zombies. Richtofen, in desperation, finds out Maxis is still alive but in the technology and says to Maxis, yo, can you fix up your daughter, please?
Yeah.
Maxis goes, alright, goes up to him, coerces Maxis out of the MPD, and then says, can you do one thing for Dad? That daughter goes, what's that, Dad? I love you so much. Can you murder everybody? Okay.
Wait, so her dad's telling her to murder everyone?
Murder everybody, because, as I told you, Maxis was pretty sick of everyone's crap.
Right.
So, Richtofen actually ends up going back to the Doris facility, freeing Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai, and fighting the zombies off the Doris facility. They also do the same in Shinonuma, because they get teleported there. And then they go to... but then they go to other places, but that's not as important. And that's like that's the entirety of World at War pretty much at the moment.
So that's from Call of Duty World War.
Yeah, that's all the maps from World at War. Well,
Right,
technically
so,
Moon's from Black Ops 1, but yeah, Moon is one of the maps.
Oh, okay. Look, I don't think I've actually... Have I played it?
As I said,
I
I'm going
don't
off of
know.
like just base memory. Like there is a lot of stuff that happens, particularly in Black Ops 4. But Black Ops 4 is like the one Call of Duty I really just don't care about.
Oh, okay. So what is the next?
The next is Black Ops 1. It is the Cold War. No, not the game Cold War. It's JFK's alive. He's talking to Castro. Richard Nixon's there. You know, going and other stuff. And you get amazing scenes like the one right at the start where he goes, "It sounds like someone's breaking in. It's just a storm, Dick." It's great. They all die in the Pentagon.
Oh.
Well, no, JFK presumably escapes, only to then get shot.
Yeah.
But they all die.
And they all die because of...
Zombies.
Zombies?
Zombies. Also, one of the doctors that worked for Group 935, Yuri, was there. He's the Pentagon thief. As I said, I'm skimming over everything, so I'm missing a lot. Like, the entirety of Ascension I've skipped over, because I don't really care, and I can't be bothered. Because, like, Gersh is a major player, it's a whole thing. Anyway, Fast forward to like the far future. Richtofen and all them lot, they're teleported. They are teleported into an abandoned movie theater, which is the Kino Toten facility, which is another teleportation testing facility. They fight through the zombies. They teleport again. They end up in a place called Shangri-La. They work together during a time loop with people called Brock and Gary. And then Dempsey, when they're about to teleport away, Dempsey has a big brain moment and shoots. He shoots the baby gun after previously shooting the Wonderwaffe, a gun that shoots electricity, in Doris. He then shoots the baby gun, which turns zombies into babies and lets you drop kick them into the sun. That's an actual weapon. Like I'll try when I do the editing. I'm gonna try and put a clip here of it. It's great. Like you literally you turn them into zombie baby.
That's funny. That is so funny.
Dempsey, in his intelligence, shoots it again, and they get teleported to the moon. I think they also did Ascension in between that, but I'm going to skip Ascension because, again, I can't really remember what happened during Ascension. Right, where was I, Lauren?
Theatre?
Oh, no, I remember. The moon. So, Maxis is there, and oh goddamn, you pretty much go through the steps with Richtofen because Richtofen wants to control the zombies. Eventually, you manage to swap the souls of Richtofen and Max. Oh, I forgot something. They get teleported again before the moon to the set in Siberia for a movie called Call of the Dead. There is Danny Trejo, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert England, and the guy who plays Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's Michael Rooker.
Hold on. Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yes.
Boucher?
Danny Trejo, Robert England. Yes. Yeah, Danny Trejo, Robert England, and the guy who plays Meryl in Walking Dead.
No way. That's sick.
Oh, and they are voiced by those respective actors. And yes, Robert England makes Freddy Krueger jokes the entire time.
Yeah.
Also, Danny Trejo makes machete jokes the entire time.
Oh yeah, because they usually have like celebs in the like sometimes start in the games, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. So they help Richtofen and that. They are eventually killed by the zombies.
Yeah.
Then they get teleported to the moon. Richtofen ends up swapping his soul with Samantha's.
Right.
Richtofen controls the zombies. And then they send nukes towards the Earth, and
yeah.
The year is now 2025. The world has literally been cracked in half like a goddamn egg.
So, end of the world?
It is the end of the world, but not quite.
Right.
During this apocalypse, there are like a cult that rise up called the Flesh. What they do is they eat the flesh of zombies.
Ew.
One of the members of the Flesh is Samuel Stallinger.
But if you eat a zombie's flesh, won't you, like, turn into a zombie?
No, what you do is you hear Richtofen.
Oh.
So, because Richtofen controls the zombies, if you eat the flesh of a zombie, you can actually hear him. Stallinger's the only one that can hear him. He bumps, on the way, he finds an abandoned bus and bumps into Russman, an ex-member of a group called Broken Arrow, which I didn't touch upon, but they're slightly important. They're the American equivalent of Group 935, and they were run by Cornelius Purnell, who went, can you guess the words I'm about to say? Batshit insane, and became a creature called the Avogadro. Also, he brought Peter McCain back to life, then killed him.
That's sad. So is it like every game you're gonna have just that one batshit
Oh yeah,
crazy
also,
person.
I forgot to mention this, Maxis also had an assistant called Sophia, who got bitten by a zombie and died. So he put her brain inside a machine and called it Sophia.
Oh, oh
And that
no.
was Maxis's girlfriend, so she's stuck in the
Oh.
machine. Um, Meanwhile, in Nuketown, Martin is stuck inside of a bunker. He gets out of the bunker. Well done, Martin. He bumps into Abigail Misty Brighton, a farm girl essentially. They're madly in love, and as the match progresses, you can actually see they do care about each other. Like, it starts off with them just saying like little quips about each other, and then it turns out, like, the final map, they're just saying that they love each other, which is really cute.
That is cute.
They also they have to fight off the zombies, and then they bump into Sam Strulinger and Russman. They get trapped inside of a bus depot, where they get two choices. They can either follow Maxis, or they can listen to Strulinger, who's following the voice of Richtofen. They listen to Maxis, and they turn on the pillar instead of destroying it.
Should have basically switched over who gave the shifts to Maxis.
But Lauren, now we have to go back to the past again.
Oh no.
The year is, I don't know when, but it's sometime in the 60s. The place is Alcatraz. 4 mobsters, Billy Handsome, Sal DeLuca, Finn O'Leary, and Albert Arlington are in Alcatraz for being good deeds. Al defies, he creates an amazing plan. We're going to fly out of it, it says, using bed sheets and a wire frame. The other prisoners, you know, end up actually realising, hang on, we've been doing this for like 2 years. How much harder is it? How are we going to make a plane out of bed sheets? So they stab him.
Oh, charming.
Very. The warden makes a deal with the devil, who isn't actually the devil, it's the Shadow Man.
It's the Shadow Man.
Also, he decides, do you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to make a Gatling gun and a blunderbuss have a baby, and make a Gatling gun blunderbuss shotgun.
That sounds pretty epic.
Blundergat is the best gun in Call of Duty. But anyway, so now Albert Arlington, all of them, they're stuck in a time loop for the rest of their lives, where they wake up, they fight the zombies, they die, they wake up, they fight the zombies, they die. Eventually, using Albert Arlington's notebook, which he jots things into every iteration, so they actually have some form of memory.
Yeah.
They get to Golden Gate Bridge again, where Arlington successfully kills the other 3 mobsters and breaks the cycle.
Yeah. So is this a cutscene in the game, or
Yes.
do you find out?
Well, you actually kill them. You actually have a 1v3.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty epic, actually. So they then get teleported to China. Amazing, right? Don't you love China?
Amazing.
No, we all hate China. They're in Dire Eyes. Nobody likes Dire Eyes. We all hate it. They follow Maxis again, activate another pylon.
Oh, okay.
They are then teleported, yet again, to Angola, an African country. Hey, where have we heard that before?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right at the start. It's Jebediah's hometown that got teleported underground.
So then it's gonna be kind of...
Infested with zombies, correct.
Yeah.
They activate the third pillar with the help of Leroy. Amazing. We all love Leroy. If you hate Leroy, we hate you.
No, we have to love Leroy.
No, yeah, we have to love Leroy. Anyway, so by giving Leroy booze, candy, and probably several forms of diabetes,
He's a happy man.
they activate the third pylon. Maxis kills them, except he doesn't because Richtofen puts him in stasis and into a second dimension. Very strange, yeah. And thus ends the main timeline.
And I think that's where we will conclude the first episode of Lore Library. Thank you, Dom, for walking me through this whole complex Call of Duty Zombies.
Do you know what's funny? That's actually
Storyline.
where it was kind of straightforward.
Really.
Though, and later on there's a scene where there's literally 3 Richtoffens.
What? Okay, so that sounds like there is some complication with the timeline. So is there?
Alternate universes.
Oh, so it's going to be that kind of thing. Okay,
I
so
mean, like,
feel
just
like...
Alcatraz alone was a little pocket dimension.
Wait, wasn't they supposed to be in a... Aren't they supposed to be in Purgatory or something? I don't
No,
know.
it's a pocket dimension.
So yeah, that concludes the first episode. In the next episodes, we'll be going through the timeline again.
If you buy
And then
Spotify
maybe-
Premium, you can access the full episode. This was just half.
You have to buy Disney Plus to view the actual pictures we're going to be inserting.
You also have to find a purple rock, place it down, spin around 3 times. Also, you have to sacrifice the souls of 10 zombies, then stab something 12 times, and then the cutscene will play.
And that is it for me and Dom. Please
Bye.
stay tuned for the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.